Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Okay, so let's start out by talking about Oscar Isaac. He is apparently open now to returning to more Star Wars if the story is right.
So he needs a new house then. He
right.
joked about, for those who don't know, you're going to bring it up.
I'm going to bring it up.
I'm ruining it
you
for you.
Always ruin
I
it.
always got to interject and then ruin. Sorry.
Yes, thank
Carry
you.
on.
In a recent interview, Star Wars actor Oscar Isaac, who played Poe Dameron, was asked if he would return to play the character again, to which he responded, while he can't give a definite answer right now, he's kind of open. Well, here's the quote. It's a messy quote. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm open to anything, of course, but no, I have no feeling one way or the other, I'm open to kind of a good story, any good thing to do, and time is one thing that gets much more challenging as you get older, and with kids and all that, it's like, where do these things fit in? So I'm realizing that there's no time for all that, but if there's a great story and great director, and Kathy came to me and said, hey, we've got this idea, I'm so open to it. The tone he kind of speaks that with is key when interpreting this quote. He was apprehensive to lean one way or the other before opting for, the safest answer. Judging from the projects he's been attached to for the last couple of years, it seems like he's choosing to collaborate with people he's interested in working with, or take on a streaming series that allows him to, sink his teeth into a role and evolve as an actor. He did infamously say a few months after the release of Rise of Skywalker that the chances of returning to the character of Poe Dameron are slim, unless I ever need another house or something, which my joke was ruined already.
It wasn't a joke. I mean, it was kind of a joke
Jokey.
at the time. But, yeah, I think a lot of people heard it, so it's not really...
I mean, the whole sequel trilogy cast has been really coy on returning in the last few years.
Well, they seem lukewarm. At first, it seemed like nobody wanted, and then it's kind of like, well, maybe...
I mean, John Boyega was, done with the franchise after he was arguably underused in the new trilogy. I would say misused, not underused.
Misused, yes. Well, he was... just misused. He's in there quite a bit. I mean,
but
it's not
they
time,
didn't
it's
develop
quality.
his character with the way they should have. I agree 100% with that.
No,
yeah.
especially The Last Jedi just takes him and side quested him, so...
But then the actor surprised everyone last year when he said that he had a meeting with Lucasfilm and would definitely return to work for Lucasfilm if Kathleen Kennedy and JJ were involved.
I don't think that latter will happen, but...
Fans have been asking for a Finn Solo series on Disney Plus for some time now, despite the actor's comments that, quote, "You ain't gonna Disney Plus him," end quote.
You will with enough money. I think you can Disney Plus anybody with enough money.
Oscar
Or a house.
Oscar Isaac Disney Plus.
Yeah. Not to switch the subject matter, but I always kind of find it just a touch annoying when these actors are like, well, how am I supposed to find time for my kids and other things? Yeah, we all have those problems, right? I mean, that's a normal thing in life. I don't know why they would expect...
Life.
Yeah. A lot of people, I'm sure, working 60, 70 hours a week would love to spend more time with their kids, but...
and both parents are at work and having to put their kids in daycare. And Oscar Isaac's like, I don't know how you do it.
I always think those comments are a bit tone deaf because, we're talking about millionaires who, if Oscar Isaac decided I never wanted to do anything else in my life, he should have enough money to be able to just
he could
float by the rest of his days.
Right, maybe
spend
not
every minute
an
with his kids.
exuberant lifestyle that he
exactly. Yeah, you're not going
to
be living in 3 houses.
He could still be very comfortable.
Yes. So I always get a little irked, just a slight bit. I mean, I understand they want to spend time with their kids, they want to pursue their careers. I get that, but it's always a little like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we all want to have more time for our family and friends.
I mean,
anyway.
Yeah. Daisy Ridley has been very absent from the movie news cycle for the past couple years and has kept some distance with Lucasfilm. We don't know why, but, I thought her experience with Lucasfilm was positive. Her passion, she had a passion for her character.
She
did.
We
know that.
And that's great. I mean, I'm glad she liked her character.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I liked her character more.
I liked her character in The Force Awakens.
And
then I was getting my love for her back, and
they did fairly well considering kind of how The Last Jedi takes her. I thought The Rise of Skywalker did much better with her. They tried. It's like they had this limited time to tell this story of like, oh, she's going to have her doubts, and they gave it to her, and then it's like, well, now she's good because she talked to Luke for 5 minutes.
Ta-da! Kathleen Kennedy, though, has said in an interview during Celebration that they're planning to set their future movies in a post-Rise of Skywalker era, which leaves the door wide open for a return of really any of these actors, But there's been no official announcements at this point, so I guess we can be cautiously optimistic.
Well, depending on your point of view, of course. I'm sure some people don't want anything set in the sequel era, and I'm not particularly eager for that, but...
I think it's open for redemption.
Well, it has to be, because I know I have theorized that you could, in theory, put these sequels in a different universe, or, a parallel universe, or different timeline. There's a lot of things you could do with the sequels. I don't think they're going to. I think, and of course you can have your own headcanon. They don't have to exist in your headcanon, but the official Disney canon is always going to acknowledge the sequels in one way, shape, or form. There's going to be, she's already said, Kathleen Kennedy said, we're going to post sequels, so I'm not saying I ever will think these sequels are fantastic. I think they're flawed movies and so on, but would I like to see the characters redeemed? Mm-hmm. Sure, I even tried to do that in a fan fiction. I tried to kind of, I don't know, fix the characters or just try to give them a new story or whatever, but I guess if that's what the future's going to be, then let's hope they can do it right.
All right, let's move along. Next article, Gwendoline Christie wants to return as Captain Phasma. Speaking to Empire Magazine, Christie was asked about the possibility of reprising the role of Captain Phasma in future Star Wars projects. While it is impossible for her to appear in anything...
Is it, though?
At the end,
is it?
Her character is dead.
Nah, we thought that
the
first
time. Character died
time.
Twice. Come on now.
Well, that doesn't stop some characters in Star Wars.
Raised the possibility...
Maybe she has 3 stomachs.
...of a live-action adaptation of her character's story from the comics, which go more into detail about her origins in the First Order. So I think they're talking about the book as well.
The comic doesn't really go into her
origin. The comic really takes place between
them, yeah.
The 2 episodes to kind of show what lengths she went to cover up what she did.
Yeah, which ties into the books. But yeah, or the book, the Phasma novel, which is good.
Excellent.
It's
Everyone
good.
loves it.
It's a really good book.
All right, but here's what she said. I haven't read the comics, but I mean, it's Star Wars. I would absolutely love that. There was a template for a character that people got really excited about. It would be smashing if they felt that it was worthwhile to explore, along with some fabulous action.
I mean, she's a fantastic actress. I mean, Brianna Tarth in Game of Thrones. She's playing, Lucifer the Devil in Sandman, which I've started to watch, and she's excellent in that. She can act her. Yeah. She's great, and unfortunately, they put her in a tin suit for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wanting her to be the next kind of Boba Fett who just stood there and was cool for the sake of being cool. So,
she did.
Yeah, again,
She went out in the same blaze of glory he did, too.
And she came back from the dead like him, yeah.
Yeah, it's very...
I mean, do I want to see more Captain Phasma? In theory, no, not really. Her book is really good. I recommend her book. It's kind of like Mad Max meets Star Wars. It's
it was
actually really good.
Really good.
But I mean, the character itself, do I need more? Not necessarily. Would I like to see like Brianna Tarth in Star Wars? Sure, that I would like.
I mean, Empire also mentioned that Captain Phasma was a playable character in the Lego Skywalker saga, which delighted the actress. She said, "This is the next step for me because as a teenager I was quite obsessed with computer games and I was quite good at them. I think it's time to revisit them because they could be everything I initially wanted them to be. There are entire worlds out there where we can investigate our megalomania."
I mean, if she hasn't played video games since she was a kid, she's in for a surprise.
In case you didn't know,
they have changed a little bit.
Gwendoline Christie is very well spoken. I like listening to interviews with her. She's very well spoken.
She's fantastic. That's why I hate the fact. I mean, we talked about John Boyega. We were talking about Oscar Isaac. Like, you have a fantastic roster of actors and actresses in the sequel trilogy. It's like you squandered it. Daisy Ridley, I think she's fine. All of these.
I would watch a Phasma series.
I get so frustrated when I think about it.
They should. It should just be called Phasma, and write it out in like some tribalistic text that kind of
Well, yeah, because she comes from
the culture she grew up in, which is really
it's a good
interesting.
Book. I recommend it. It's not. It's one of the best books in the new canon.
It really
even though it's the least Star Wars feeling book I may have ever read, which is kind of an interesting thing to say. I mean, does it fit into the universe? Yeah. Does it work? Yes. But it's very different. It's very different, and
my
it's
friend
really
Cardinal's
good.
in it.
Yeah, there's a few new characters. Cardinal, he's a red stormtrooper. Very creative.
He's the red Phasma.
Yes, he basically is.
Yeah, he's cooler though.
But no, again, do I want to see more Phasma the character? If maybe the helmet comes off and it was something interesting, I guess.
Well, yeah. And it would. Well,
yeah. We don't need to just throw her back in the. Yeah. Yeah, they were very tribalistic, and
really
yes,
cool,
it's very cool.
I could see it. All right, let's move on to our last piece today, because you'll want to talk about it. Cameron Monaghan on Cal's morally complex journey in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Which I didn't call Fallen Order this time.
Fallen Survivor, I believe
Fallen
is what
Survivor.
you would. Yep.
All right, Cameron Monaghan recently spoke with Coming Soon about the upcoming game and what we can expect from Cal Kestis this time around.
I feel like there's a tongue twister in there. Coming soon from Cal Kestis. I don't know.
In Fallen Order, the bulk of the game saw Cal wrestle with what happened during Order 66, dealing with the guilt he still harbored over his inability to save his master. And, through trials and tribulations, Cal is able to overcome his inner turmoil, defeat Inquisitors, even survive an encounter with Vader. According to Monaghan, Cal's journey as a character is far from over. Without giving anything away, he did speak, kind of about what the survivor means in regards to Cal. He is someone who lived through a genocide, a purging of people from his kind, and has been living in hiding for most of his life. To me, a survivor is someone who is able to persist in the face of extraordinary odds, and I think that's a lot of what our story is about. We see Cal challenged in ways that we haven't seen him challenged before, and it brings him to moments that are more difficult than anything his character has faced. Without giving anything away, I think that it leads to some interesting questions for Cal, as well as for this universe in general. The main MacGuffin of the original game, which took place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, found Cal searching for a holocron containing information on a new generation of Jedi. Now another 5 years have passed, and the story's going to pick back up, where Monaghan gives a little more insight to some of Cal's personal changes. Over the course of the story, we see Cal really change in a lot of ways. Interesting ways. That has been a joy to explore with this character. He is a really unique person in this world, and I think that is something that gets communicated in the story in a way that I think is going to be really interesting and morally complex as well. The game doesn't have an official release date yet. Reports are indicating early 2023. I think that I've heard March spoken. It's going to be PC and next-gen consoles only. Yeah, next-gen only. So we've got a deadline to actually find one, right?
Yeah, by the time we get a next-gen console, they will be past-gen consoles. But that's all right.
Past-gen console.
Yeah, someday we'll find one.
Morally complex. I like that phrase.
Yes. I mean...
Because humans were morally complex.
Oh, yeah, of course we are. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's... Star Wars is always the battle of good versus evil and kind of falling in between the two, being selfless versus selfish,
like being
as we always talk about.
Survivor.
But I mean, he said a lot without really giving away anything, I don't think.
I agree.
I mean, I feel like all actors these days are kind of trained to say, my character is going to face challenges and it's going to be... Well, okay, so some of them, the training doesn't always take with some of them, but... No, I feel like that's just kind of the... He gave a kind of standard answer. I mean, morally complex is interesting. I mean, is he going to... I feel like he's going to be faced with some... do I hold true to my Jedi ways, or am I moving on? Or that's kind of what I would assume.
And even the trailer, that opening sequence they show in the trailer is the ship crashed and footprints leading away. What's happened to them in 5 years?
Yeah. Well,
Who is still on the crew? What has gone on? What has he been doing? And is it all coming crashing down? It looks like there's a troop of troopers that are just like hunting for him now.
Yeah.
A new class
of
troopers coming just for him and that new creepy looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pawun that is not...
The creepy Pawun.
The Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
But senator or businessman, I'm not
we don't know
entirely sure what he is.
But he is definitely seeming to be hunting.
Yeah, he's after Cal for reasons.
Well, I just want to hear more news on this game.
All right, well, I guess that's all we have for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. Tell us what you think about the sequels. Should we try to redeem these characters and move beyond those films and get these actors back to do something different and fun and better? Or should they be scrapped and we should ignore them and whatever else?
I'm for redemption.
Well, like I said, it's either redemption or they're just going to keep screwing them up because they're not... For better or worse, they're not going to undo the sequels. They're just going to be there forever. So, Anyway, take to the comments below, tell us what you think, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.